Hello everyone, hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video will be on this beautiful bubu gown for our kids, and if this is the first time of stopping by, do wait to hit on the subscribe button. And without wasting so much time, let's get right into this video. So for this bubu tutorial, I'll be making use of this fabric, as you know already, and my fabric is folded into four. That's, I'm marking the front and the back together. And for the length of this gown, I have 60 inches. So for this gown is for a 10-year-old, and just like I'll keep mentioning, please do well to measure your child so that you'll be sure of what you are doing. So let's continue with this tutorial of this bubu gown. And the first thing I did is to mark a straight line to serve as our starting point, or just say to make the marking straight. And then I'll go ahead and mark half of my shoulder measurement, which is 6.5 inches, and then I'm adding half inch for my sleeve. So because this fabric will not be enough to cut my sleeve together, that's why I am marking my sleeve differently. So I'm going to go ahead and add my sleeve, or say attach it afterwards. So the next thing I mark is my bust measurement, my bust point, which is at 8 inches, or you can mark 9 inches depending on how free you want it to be. Once I am done, I connected these lines. And then for my neckline, for the width of it, I am marking 3 inches. Then for the depth of the back neckline, I am marking 1.25 inches. Then I'll go ahead and connect this for a round neck. Then for my front neckline, I am going down by 6 inches. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect this with a slanted line for a V-neck. Once I am done with this, guys, we are going to go ahead and mark our shoulder slope, and I am marking at 0.75 inches, and then I'll go ahead and connect this to our starting point. Once I am done with that, I'm going to go ahead and mark my bust measurement divided by 4. I'll make a point. I'll be adding 2 inches stitching for ease, and then 1 inch stitching allowance, and then I'll go ahead and connect my armhole curve. Once I am done with that, I'll still place my tape at the starting point, and then I'll go ahead and measure my waist measurement, or let's say my waistline, which is at 15 inches. Just like I said, please do well to measure your child. So I'll mark a line straight, and then I'll go ahead and insert my waist measurement divided by 4. Please check the description box for the measurement of this gown in case you want to use it for your child. Then I added 2 inches for ease, and then 1 inch for stitching allowance. I'll go ahead and connect it coming from the bust to the waist. Then, still placing my tape from the starting point, I'll go ahead and mark my hip point, which is at 25 inches. Then I'll mark this line straight. Then at that hip point, I'm going to be adding my hip measurement divided by 4, 2 inches for ease, and then 1 inch stitching allowance. And then I'll connect the point that is coming from the waist to the hip. Once I am done with that, I'll now mark all the way straight to the hem of the gown. Remember that the length of this gown, I added 2 inches stitching allowance to it. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, so I'll go ahead. So if you haven't subscribed up to this moment, please take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button, join the family. And then to my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for all your support. So once I cut out my back neckline, I will separate the fabric, and then I cut out my front neckline. So for the band on the front of this bubu gown, and you know there is a separate fabric, so we're going to go ahead and cut out space for it. So remember, I want mine to be about 3 inches after I was done. That's 1.5 inches on both sides. So I'll be marking 1 inch all round. By the time I'm done marking this, I'll use half inch to attach it to the band. So by the time I use half inch, that means I've taken out 1.5 inches away from the main fabric. I hope you understand this. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 1 inch all the way from the neckline from the shoulder line all the way to the hem. So this is just the front bodice. So once I am done with that, this is what we have. We have two separate parts of this front bodice. So this is the band I'll be using for it. As you can see, I have is 4 inches wide, and then the length is as long as your gown. So by the time I join it, I fold it into two and then attach it to, you will be having 1.5 inches remaining. So I'll place it at my shoulder area this way from the front side, and then I'll stitch it all the way from one end, from the shoulder to the hem. So I'm placing this at the right side of my fabric, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. Then for our sleeve, we're going to go ahead and cut out our sleeve. For the length of my sleeve, I want a short one. I have 10 inches. I'm adding 2 inches stitching allowance. And then for the sleeve cap, let's connect the line straight so that it will be more visible. Then for the sleeve cap, I'll be doing 4 inches for this. I like using pin to hold down my fabric before I continue, so that it doesn't keep moving up and down. So for my sleeve cap, just like I mentioned earlier, I'll mark 4 inches, and then from that place I'm going down by 4 inches as well. And then the center of that 4 inches, I made a point there, which is 2 inches. So I have 4 by 4 and then 2 inches at the center of the 4 line. I hope you get this. So I'll go ahead and mark a straight line at that 4 inches that we went down with, and then I'll also connect this 4 inches as well. What I am marking is to make that 2 inches more visible. So once I am done, I'll go ahead and mark my sleeve, round sleeve divided by 2. I'll add 2 inches for ease, and then 1 inch stitching allowance. Please look at the way I am going to connect this. I'm going to turn my ruler, my curve this way, and then I'll connect to that 2 inches that we marked earlier. Then I'll flip it over to the other side, and then I'll connect to the marking that we just did. Once I am done with this, I'm going to, from that marking, I'll go ahead and connect the measurement that is you can either measure your child or just connect it straight, because it's not a fitted gown, so there is no need for you to be fitted at the lower arm. So this is what we have after we are done. I'll go ahead and hem it by 1.5 inches, and then with the remaining ½ inch I will be using it to attach it to the bubu gown. I'll do the same thing for the other side. And then the lights came up. They brought the lights. So this is the band. We are done attaching it, for a lack of better word to use for it. And this is the other one. I am done with it as well. So I'll go ahead and iron this out so that it lays down properly. You can see it's still moving to the other side, so I'll go ahead and iron it down. So this is what we have after I was done ironing it. You can see how flat it's looking now and in place. And this is the other side as well. So I'll bring the 2 front pieces. I'll go ahead and pin this down. So I'm pinning down from the armhole area. That's where I want the opening to start, or let's say the neckline opening to start. So I'll pin it down, and then I'll go ahead and stitch this down. Please, while stitching, make sure you are stitching very tiny, maybe around 0.25 inches. You stitch it from that place all the way to you can either do the hem, or you can leave some slit at about 10 inches slit, or depending on what works for you. So this is what we have after we are done with it. You can see our slit. So the next thing we are going to do is to bring in our back bodice, because we are yet to work on the back bodice neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it in, and you can either do a facing, or you can go ahead and pipe it. For me, I piped mine, and this is what I have after I was done. So I'll go ahead and bring in the front bodice, and then at this point we'll be doing front facing front. I'll go ahead and place it where. Make sure you arrange your pieces well. You can go ahead and then pin it down. Once you are done pinning this down, you're going to go ahead and stitch it down by 1/2 of an inch, and then you will repeat the same process for the other side. So this, guys, this is what we have after we are done with it, and we are going to go ahead and attach our sleeve at this point. I'm done hemming it as well. So I'll open up my bodice, this bubu gown, from the right side, sorry, and I'll be doing front facing front. I'll go ahead and stitch it down from one end to the other. So this is what we have after we are done stitching it down. You can see the gown is coming together and moving to the permanent side. So this is what we have. So we are going to go ahead and turn this to the wrong side. Once we do that, I'm going to go ahead and arrange my pieces well, and then I'll stitch by 1 inch all the way from the sleeve to the hem. Remember, we added 1 inch stitching allowance. That's why I am stitching at 1 inch. So this is what we have after we are done. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to hem this. And that's all for this style. I hope you find value in it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do well to hit on the subscribe button, join the family, and please watch my ads and share my videos to family and friends. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.